In August 2014, the Mayo Clinic Center for Sleep Medicine in Arizona conducted a study that changed the way we look at sleeping with cats. The study lasted for 6 months and involved 150 patients, half of whom were allowed to sleep with their pets, and the other half slept alone. The results showed that certain unexpected things happened with those people who chose to sleep with their cats at night. So, what are they? Before we dive in, be sure to subscribe to our channel and join our feline-loving community. Bonding. Did you know that cats often synchronize their breathing with their owners when sleeping close? This little-known behavior is one of the strongest ways to deepen the bond between you and your feline friend on a subconscious level. Sleeping together is all about replicating the cat's natural behavior of snoozing in groups for safety in the wild. And your modern, possibly very urban bedroom is echoing the ancient instinctual habits of wild cats. According to numerous studies, your nighttime cuddles are building a bridge of trust and affection that stretches far beyond the daylight hours. Interestingly, cats also choose to sleep with their owners as a way to share body heat. Sleeping is when your cat is at their most vulnerable, so your cat shares body heat only with those they trust the most, and in this case, it's you. Sleep quality. Going back to the Mayo Clinic research, 41% of people reported sleeping better because of their pet. One individual with insomnia found that their sleep quality improved significantly on nights when their cat chose to sleep close by. So, why is that? Well, it all boils down to purr therapy effect. We'll come back to it in more detail later, as there's something undeniably soothing about the rhythmic purring of a cat settled on your bed. It's fascinating because, by nature, cats are crepuscular, meaning they're most active during the twilight hours. Yet these adaptable creatures often align their sleep pattern with that of their human companions, promoting uninterrupted sleep. Anxiety level. There are actual therapy cats specially trained to sleep with patients suffering from PTSD, utilizing their presence and the comforting sound of their purring as a form of nocturnal comfort. So how exactly is this helpful? Let's get back to the purring therapy effect. The remarkable, almost magical properties of your cat's purring can help humans relax and stay present, instead of being lost in the worries of tomorrow or the shadows of yesterday. For those lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, weighed down by the day's stress, a cat's presence can be the gentle anchor that brings them back to a state of calm. A few high-stress professionals have reported a noticeable decrease in anxiety and insomnia symptoms after inviting a cat into their nightly routine. So it's no surprise that in the Mayo Sleep Study, most cat owners who shared their nights with their feline friends reported lower stress levels and an improved mood. Health. First off, there's the case of a cat owner who, after surgery, noticed something remarkable. Every time their cat snuggled up close to the healing wound, they felt less pain. Not only that, but the wound itself seemed to heal faster than expected. Coincidence? Science says no. Turns out, a cat's purr isn't just soothing, vibrating between 20 to 140 Hz. It's been scientifically linked to promoting healing in bones and tissues. But the benefits don't stop at wound healing. A decade-long study throws another curveball our way, revealing that cat owners are 30% less likely to die of a heart attack or stroke compared to those without a cat. So having a cat might just save your life. Allergy. Here's an interesting true story. One American family, notorious for their battles with allergies, decided to defy logic and welcome not just one, but 2 furry felines into their lives. Fast forward to 5 years later, and their child, who by all accounts should be sneezing up a storm, shows no signs of allergies. So how is that possible? It turns out, children who grow up with cats, sharing everything from playtime to nap time, are actually less likely to develop allergies and asthma. It's a bit like allergy boot camp, with the cats as the drill sergeants. Their fur and dander help to train a child's immune system to be stronger, more resilient. Exposure to these allergens doesn't just build tolerance, It's like giving the immune system a workout, making it buff enough to shrug off what would typically send it into red alert. Why doesn't your cat sleep with you? Territory and independence. First off, cats are notorious for their love of territory and independence. They often prefer spots that give them a strategic view of the room or cozy hideaways that feel secure. If your bed doesn't offer the high ground advantage or the snugness they crave, they might just pass it up for a cardboard box or the top of a wardrobe. Nocturnal adventures. Cats are crepuscular by nature, meaning they're most active during the twilight hours. While you're dreaming, they're out exploring and hunting. Sensory overload. Cats are highly sensitive creatures, and your bedtime routine might be a bit overwhelming for them. The tossing, turning, and maybe even snoring can be a bit much for a cat looking for a peaceful spot to rest. They seek environments that meet their sensory needs, and sometimes the bed just doesn't cut it. Personal preference. Just like humans, cats have personal preferences. Some cats might not enjoy the softness of a bed, preferring firmer surfaces that provide more support. Others might not be fond of the scents and textures of your bedding. Health and comfort. Older cats or those with health issues might find the jump onto your bed too challenging. In such cases, providing a pet-friendly step or reconsidering the bedding arrangement could make your bed more accessible and inviting. How to train your cat to sleep with you. Before we dive into the snuggle strategies, let's tackle a less cuddly subject, the uninvited guests your cat might bring to bed. We're talking about fleas and other creepy crawlies, so regular flea treatments are a must. Equally important is the upkeep of the litter box. A clean, well-maintained litter area not only supports good hygiene, but also reduces the chances of any crunchy surprises finding their way under your sheets. Regularly changing your sheets, at least once a week, is essential to remove the dirt, fur, and potential allergens that cats can bring into your bed, ensuring a fresher sleeping environment. Consider using a mattress protector to make managing fur and dander easier. Daily grooming of your cat reduces shedding and allergens, making your bed a healthier place to sleep. Also, providing a dedicated spot on your bed for your cat, such as a special blanket or a cat bed, can help contain fur to one area and make your cat feel secure. Now, on to the cozy stuff. How do you transform your bed into the ultimate cat magnet? Follow these steps. Reward bedtime behavior. Cats, much like us, respond well to incentives. Does your cat hop onto the bed? That's their cue for a tasty treat. Keep their favorite snacks close by your bedside to make this a seamless habit. This way, your bed becomes a place of positive vibes and yummy rewards. Play before bedtime. A tired cat is a cuddly cat. Engage in a playful tussle with your cat before bed to zap them of that extra energy. This not only primes them for sleep, but ensures they're more interested in snuggling than midnight sprints across your face. Respect their space. Independence is a cat's middle name. Make sure your cat can come and go as they please, with a clear path off the bed. Dedicate a spot on your bed just for them. Their favorite cushion or a blanket they like to lie on works wonders. This gives them a sense of security and control, knowing they have their own territory within your shared space. You lay out the coziest cat beds. You give them free rein of the couch, the carpet, and every cushion in the home. Yet for some reason, when it's time for your fur baby to settle down for a snooze, their sleeping space of choice is usually your bed. What is that all about? Is it more than just comfort? And have you ever noticed where they like to sleep? On your chest, by your feet, or maybe curled up by your head? What does it say about the bond you share? In this video, we're diving into all the reasons your cat insists on sleeping with you and what each of their favorite sleeping spots reveals about your relationship. Why does your cat sleep near you? First, let's have a look at 6 of the reasons why your fur baby might feel like you are their best sleeping buddy. Number 1. Emotional support human. Yep, that's right. This is a role that you absolutely play for your kitty. You are the person that they love most in the world, after all, and the person that they rely on to meet all their needs. You provide them with food, water, shelter, and veterinary care. Why wouldn't they expect you to provide them with a safe space to sleep as well? Sleeping next to you gives your kitty a much-needed sense of security as they settle down for a snooze. Being able to smell your scent while they're drifting off to sleep helps relax and reassure them. Number 2. For your own protection. Your cat doesn't just expect to be able to laze around all night while you stand guard duty, however, which is a good thing because you're probably not that great of a guard at 5 in the morning. Sleeping in your bed is also a way for your cat to help protect you from dangerous predators. Sleeping next to you gives your kitty a chance to mark you with their scent, ensuring that any strange other cats who might be skulking around will know that you've been claimed already. They'll also be able to warn you if a wolf or a bear or something comes into your room in the middle of the night. You know, that common nighttime hazard that we all face. However, it's worth remembering, just because you're unlikely to be eaten by a leopard while you're snoozing, unless you happen to live in a country where leopards are common, or near a zoo with very lax security, and have a tendency to sleep with the windows open, that doesn't mean you're always safe while you're asleep. One night in the year 2000, animal welfare volunteer Gwen Cooper was woken up by the hissing of her blind rescue cat, Homer. To her horror, she realized that her kitty had caught something a bit bigger than a rat. A home intruder. But before she could even finish calling the police, Homer had launched himself at the man's face, in Cooper's words, like a banshee, and started lashing out with his claws. The intruder, unprepared to find the home guarded by a security cat, quickly fled. Number 3. Human hot water bottle. This one is a bit less flattering than the others. Sometimes your cat's decision to sleep next to you isn't about you at all. Sometimes it's just about your kitty wanting a warm body to sleep beside. Cats evolved in a very hot, arid environment, and even now they're less able to handle cooler temperatures than we humans are. Fortunately, however, we humans more than pick up the slack. Not only does our body heat help our kitties warm themselves when they snuggle up with us, but we've also helpfully invented all kinds of devices to help us warm ourselves, and them, including hot water bottles, radiators, and toasty warm blankets. Number 4. Creature comforts. On a similar note, you'll probably have noticed that your own bed is more comfy than your cat's bed. There's a reason why you don't sleep in a giant basket after all. Human beds are more spacious, we have comfy blankets and pillows, and, crucially for your kitty, human beds are usually off the ground. Being off the ground means that, unlike when they're sleeping in a cat bed on the floor, your fur baby is much less likely to be troubled by any cold drafts. But even without that element, most cats will still prefer a high bed to a low one. Like us, our feline friends evolved to live in the trees, but unlike us, they never quite came down. Sleeping up high makes your cat feel safe from predators and reassures them that when they wake up, they'll be in a good position to survey the area for potential prey to have for breakfast. Number 5. Bedtime routine. Cats love routines. They make them feel safe and like they're in control of their lives. So, as the person they spend the most of their time with, and who has the most influence over their life, your daily routines quickly become very important to them. And for a lot of people, one of the most consistent routines that they have is the one that precedes them getting into bed. You probably at least try to go to bed at the same time every night, and probably do roughly the same activities: making yourself a hot drink, changing into your PJs, brushing your teeth, putting on some relaxing white noise. To prepare. Your fur baby can see you doing all these things and will know that you're about to go to bed. It's a comforting sign that everything is all right with the world, and so of course they take the opportunity to join you for a little nap. Number 6. Feline friendship. Of course, your kitty's reasons for wanting to sleep in your bed aren't all selfish. Just like humans, cats also sleep next to their friends and family to show that they love them. Cats will often sleep next to other cats if they consider them to be part of their social group, and sleeping next to you is the same thing. Cats know that they're vulnerable when they sleep, and they believe that you are also vulnerable when you're asleep. The two of you sleeping next to each other, therefore, allows you to take this major risk together. When you get into bed and your fur baby jumps in beside you, therefore, it's their way of letting you know that it's the two of you against the world, all day and all night. Which position do they sleep in? Okay, now you've got your cat in your bed, where in the bed are they going to sleep? Humans are pretty restricted when it comes to sleeping positions, with most of us opting for the traditional head on the pillow, slightly elevated, body stretched out behind with a blanket over it. It's a classic for a reason, but your fur baby, being a lot smaller and a lot more flexible, has a lot more options, and where they sleep in your bed can actually provide you with some valuable insight into the feline mind. Here are 7 common examples. Number 1. By your head. There are a few reasons why your kitty might want to sleep by your head. Firstly, because it's likely one of the more comfortable places on your bed. After all, it's where your nice soft pillow is. And if you thought that that explanation sounded a bit self-serving of your kitty, then you won't like the next one. Sleeping by your head also allows them the opportunity to easily wake you up whenever they want to. Need a snack? Fancy some cuddles? See a threatening-looking shadow? A simple yowl in the human's ear will usually be enough to get them on their feet. Aren't cats wonderful? But there's another, more heartwarming explanation for your fur baby wanting to sleep by your head. Sleeping right next to your head allows your cat to be as close to you as possible, and especially close to the soothing sound of your breathing. Maybe your kitty isn't sleeping on your pillow because they want an easy way to summon you when they fancy a snack. Maybe it's enough for them just to know that you're there. Number 2. On your chest. But if being right next to your face isn't enough to make your kitty feel close to you, then they might try another place. Sleeping right on your chest allows your cat to be as close to you as possible. Not only will they be able to hear your heartbeat, but the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and out will help rock them to sleep. Of course, the problem with this position is that the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe is something that might be a bit more difficult to achieve with a cat on your chest, particularly if they're a large breed. And especially if the cat feels like moving around a bit before settling down to sleep. Still, at least one of you will be getting a good night's sleep. Perhaps the risk of suffocation is worth it. Number 3. Between your legs. Oh God. You get into bed after a long and tiring day, and where has your kitty chosen to sleep? Right in the middle of it. Obviously, you can't move the cat off the bed. You're not a monster. But sleeping on the floor isn't really an option either. Even we aren't that fanatical about our felines. So your options are either A. Use only the top half of the bed and sleep curled up in the fetal position. B. Sleep on your side with your legs awkwardly bent sideways around your cat and spend the rest of the night feeling your back muscles protest about being frozen in such a weird position. Or C. Your fur baby's personal favorite, sleeping on your back with your legs either side of the cat. Sleeping between your legs means that your kitty is completely surrounded by your body heat. But that's not the only reason why they prefer it. As you'll know, if you've ever left a cardboard box unattended for more than 5 seconds, cats love to sleep in places where they are surrounded on all sides because it makes them feel protected from potential predators. Inside a box is the best, but if a box isn't around, then your legs can also act as barriers against the dangers of the night. Number 4. Under the covers. Is there anything cuter than seeing your fur baby poking their little face out from under the covers? Cats love hiding underneath the duvet, in part for the same reason that you like sleeping beneath it. It's warm under there. But the duvet on your bed also likely has your scent, which for your kitty is associated with safety and security. This is why you might sometimes see them having a snooze under the bed covers when you're not even in the bed. Finally, just like sleeping in a box or between your legs, sleeping under your bed covers helps your cat feel hidden and protected. Just like you when you were a little kid, your fur baby is of the firm opinion that monsters can't get you if you pull the blankets over your head. Number 5. By your feet. Having a cat sleep at your feet is a great thing if you tend to get cold toes in the night. Your fur baby can act as a big hot water bottle, helping to keep them toasty warm. The human tendency to get cold feet is probably why your cat is so keen to sleep next to them, surprising as that might be to hear. Your feet are likely to be where you keep your actual hot water bottle, and since cats are more attracted to sources of heat than some heat-seeking missiles, your fur baby will find that a very comfortable place to settle. But there is another reason why your kitty might want to sleep by your feet. Although cats sleep a lot more than humans, up to 16 hours a day as opposed to the human 8 hours, they don't sleep nearly as long as we do. They prefer quantity over quality, having lots of little naps throughout the day, rather than doing all their sleeping in one long block. As a result, although your kitty might like to snuggle up in your bed when you first settle down to sleep, they're likely to get up a lot in the night. Sleeping by your feet allows them to come and go whenever they please without waking you up. Sometimes our cats can be thoughtful. Number 6. Facing away from you. When your cat chooses to sleep facing away from you, it can feel a bit insulting and confusing. Why are they choosing to sleep in your bed at all if they don't want to look at your face? Are you that bad to look at, or horror of horrors? Do you secretly have terrible breath, and this is the only way that your cat can stand to sleep near you at all? Maybe you assume that your kitty is mad at you for some reason, and is trying to make a point by sleeping with their butt in your face. Well, you'll be relieved to know that this isn't the case. In fact, quite the opposite. If your cat sleeps beside you but facing away, then that's their way of letting you know that they trust you enough that they feel able to turn their back on you. Not only that, but if they sleep against your back while they're facing away, then they're ensuring that if anything sneaks up on the two of you at night, they'll be literally watching your back, and you can do the same for them. Far from rejecting you, your fur baby is showing that they're willing to defend you with their life while you're sleeping, and that they trust that you feel the same way about them. Number 7. In your arms. Sometimes you just need a little comfort, and who better to provide that comfort after a long, tiring day than your cat? Snuggling up with your fur baby wrapped in your arms like a big, fluffy teddy bear is the perfect antidote to stress. For your cat, this isn't exactly a natural position for them to sleep in, and a cat who doesn't know you very well might end up feeling a bit uncomfortable being confined in a human's arms like that at a time when they're already pretty vulnerable. But a cat who loves and trusts you will soon not only get used to snuggling up in your arms when it's time for bed, but will probably even enjoy it. Being enclosed in your arms gives them all the benefits of your body heat, your heartbeat, your breathing, and your scent. For a cat who knows you well enough, it can be the most comforting sleep position of all. Not least because they can settle down to sleep feeling safe in the knowledge that their human friend is happy and relaxed. Is it safe for them? But is it actually safe for your fur baby to sleep next to you? You're a lot bigger than them after all. What if you roll over in the night and squash them flat? Everyone is always warning new parents about the dangers of co-sleeping with their newborn babies. Why is it different with cats? Well, you'll be pleased to know that you're not the only person who's worried about this. In an interview with Inverse magazine, cat expert Mikel Delgado from Feline Cat Behavioral Consultants was asked about the possibility of people rolling over onto their cats in bed. He said, "I have never heard of anyone crushing their cat while sleeping. Most cats will move the second they feel uncomfortable." To be safe, however, he recommended not co-sleeping with very young kittens. But as long as your kitty is an adult or an older kitten, there's no risk in letting them cuddle up in your bed. Is it safe for you? Okay, but what about your safety? You're probably not too worried about your cat rolling on top of you, unless you happen to be unusually short and the owner of an absolutely massive Maine Coon. But you might be worried about how your fur baby will affect your sleep. Well, you can rest assured that the effect will probably be positive. Experts generally agree that sleeping next to a cat helps people relax and thus fall asleep faster. This doesn't mean that they can't be disruptive as well, but a 2018 study indicated that they probably aren't much more disruptive than a human sleeping partner, and loads of people manage with one of them every night. Let me paint you a picture. It's 2 a.m. You are peacefully asleep, enveloped in glorious dreams. You don't have to get out of bed in the morning as it's Sunday. You had a long Saturday, so you really need it, and a tough week of work leading up to that, so you are desperate for every minute in bed you can get. And then, bam! An energetic, fluffy little tyrant who seems to think 2:01 a.m. is the perfect time to demand food and play, jumps on your face, startling you awake. Because of course they're awake, and of course they want you to be as well. But why do cats have a silly habit of waking you up between 2 and 4 a.m.? And are there ways to stop it? There are several possible reasons. Let's explore those, then talk about how to prevent them a little later in the video. Possible reason 1. Instinctive hunting habits. Because they are way too cute and fluffy and fuzzy for their own good, it's easy to forget that cats are born hunters. Don't let their adorable whittle meows fool you. They're monsters when they want to be. Hot-blooded predators who don't just like to kill, but relish in toying with the corpses like utter sadists. Cats are crepuscular. That's a big science word that means that they are most active during both dusk and dawn, a little like my bladder. So to them, that is the perfect time to go hunting. We are all victims to our DNA, and our DNA is full of instincts that are hangovers from our ancestors. This also applies to your fur babies. Their ancestors would be up at dusk and dawn to hunt. That drive is still lingering in their bones centuries later and wakes them up when the sun is both setting and rising to send them on the mission to hunt for food. Even though they have a nice lazy life where you provide their food for them, but hey, their genes don't know that. Possible reason 2. Hunger. Cats are creatures of habit. If you feed your fluff ball super early because you have to go to work, for example, they will swiftly learn that early morning is when the food happens. But they might not fully understand that there is a difference between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. If the sun is rising, then it's officially breakfast o'clock. They may even know it's not quite food time yet, but are attempting to gently tweak the schedule and knock food time earlier up your to-do list for the day. Think of it like this. They're basically training you to be their personal chef. They think they're teaching you to be awake when they want you to be awake, so you can feed them when they want to be fed. Possible reason 3. Boredom. We all like to call our cats our fur babies. The key word there is baby. Because at the end of the day, they are babies. So that means, just like a human child, they can find boredom utterly intolerable. This is especially common amongst indoor cats who aren't being stimulated enough. Possible reason 4. Disturbed sleep cycle. Sometimes, no matter how late we go to bed, we wake up weirdly early. It happens to all of us. As much as we might all need sleep, it can be oddly hard to do it sometimes. This is because our sleep cycles have been disrupted, and we fall into weird patterns. This affects all animals that need to sleep, including your fur baby. If you're confused by the phrase all animals that need to sleep because you assume every living creature sleeps, guess what? Some jellyfish don't. And when it comes to dolphins and bullfrogs, instead of sleeping, they enter a semi-conscious dormant state. But hey, this is a video about cats, not jellyfish, frogs, or dolphins. Your cat might not actually be a natural early riser, but their sleep cycle was disrupted by something once and now they've fallen out of their usual pattern. Possible reason 5. Health problems. While a cat waking up in the twilight hours can be totally normal, as confusing as this is, it can also sometimes not be. Sometimes your cat's disturbed sleep patterns can sadly be the result of poor health. If your cat is a little more senior, this may well be the case, especially if they, previously, were not the kind of cat to wake up early and disturb you. If your cat never used to do this, but has started to in their elderly years, that may well be a sign they have underlying health conditions worth talking to a vet about. If this is a new habit for your cat, and if they're a little older, book an appointment just in case. You can't be too safe. Possible reason 6. Environment. It can be easy to fall into the trap of frantically trying to figure out what's disturbing our fluffy friends and causing them to wake up at such silly times of day. But sometimes it's as simple as loud noises. The space in which your fluffiest family member, I assume, is sleeping may be prone to disruptions you are presently unaware of that are shaking your poor cat out of their slumber early. Perhaps the location of their sleep spot means they are prone to hearing bangs from the neighbors, or cars racing by, or vibrating household appliances. If you don't think any of the previously mentioned factors are to blame, it's worth checking their most common sleep spot and ensuring you've not missed something obvious that could be startling them awake every day. But what about some tips for dealing with the other issues raised on this list? Don't worry, I've got you. How to deal with a cat who wakes up early as they're hungry. As obvious as it may seem, the key to avoiding a hungry cat is to feed your cat. Your cat loves to sleep after eating, so if you don't feed your fur baby right before bed, it might be worth considering it. And if you already do, it might be worth making the meal a wee bit bigger. We all know how much we need a giant snooze after eating mountains of carbs. Your cat is just the same. How to deal with a cat who disturbs you in the early hours as they're bored. If your cat doesn't have enough fun during the day, they will seek it at night. Your cat may well be bothering you in the early hours because they didn't get to play enough already. The simple solution is to ensure you carve out enough time in your day to mentally stimulate your cat. At least it's a solution that's fun for you as well. Any excuse to play with your cat, right? If you have children, you'll be well used to trying to tire them out so they'll fall asleep. This approach to dealing with early rising human babies also works for early rising fur babies. Engaging your cat in riveting play sessions with toys such as laser pointers and feather wands spends a lot of their energy, meaning they'll need a lot more rest, so will hopefully sleep through the night until you're awake as well. General tips. Regardless of why your cat thinks it's socially acceptable to jump on your face at 4 a.m., there is some general advice out there for training them into tolerating the human need for beauty sleep. 1. Make their sleeping environment cozy and comfortable. Nobody wants to sleep in an uncomfortable and horrible bed. If your cat wakes up in the early hours and they don't find their bed a nice place to be, of course they're going to spring to their paws and kickstart their busy day of being an adorable nuisance. But if their bed is comfy, well, even if they do wake up, they'll want to linger there. Think about yourself. If your bed is comfy, you don't like leaving it in the morning. You would rather stay there, wrapped up in those blankets. So if your cat has a designated place they like to sleep in, then making it as comfortable and cozy as you can to encourage them to stay in it won't exactly stop them waking early, but it will encourage them to stay in bed if they do wake up early. 2. Ignore them. Now, this advice might break your heart. You might feel like you simply cannot bring yourself to do this to your fuzzy lil feline friend. But if your cat has a habit of waking up in the early hours of the morning, then pestering you until you wake up and join them, because apparently 3 a.m. is the perfect time for food and fun, simply ignoring them until they leave you alone is the best way to go. It's the exact same logic as letting a baby cry out in the night, which, to be fair, is a divisive parenting technique at best. But if you do your best to ignore them, your cat will soon learn that while they might enjoy being awake at 4 a.m., you do not. And with time, they'll start bothering you less, even if they are awake, because they are clever creatures, and they will get the hint that they need to wait a little longer to enjoy your company. But waking up and giving them the attention that they are so desperately seeking, that will just reinforce the idea that they will be rewarded with affection if they try and wake you as early as possible. 3. Enforce a routine. Cats can seem like chaotic little goblins at times, but they actually thrive on routine. A nice, predictable schedule doesn't just appeal to them, but actively trains them in understanding what sort of activities are suitable at what times. Now, you may well already do this. But if you don't, and your fluffball is always disturbing you at 2 a.m., it may well be worth introducing a touch more structure to their lives. Tend to feed them at random times? Start feeding them at the same time every day. Have a designated slot in the day for playtime that is the same every day. Little things like that. As they begin to feel this new shape to their day, they will adjust to that, and part of that will be accepting that you are not around for fun during the early hours, so they will leave you be. There's nothing sweeter than a sleeping cat, but have you ever wondered if your kitty might be trying to tell you something when they sleep? Cats can nap in a variety of different positions, and often the position in which your kitty is sleeping can tell you something about their emotional state and how they are feeling towards you. For example, if your cat sleeps a lot in the next position, then that is not a very good sign. Curled in a ball. This is the classic cat sleeping position, the one you probably picture when you picture a sleeping cat. But this position isn't just for comfort's sake. Being curled in a ball helps reduce your kitty's surface area, which helps them better conserve their body heat. It also, more concerningly, allows your kitty to better shield their delicate vital organs. If your cat sleeps like this even in warm weather, and especially if they insist on sleeping with their back facing you, then that can be a sign that they don't fully trust you. Flat on their belly with their paws sticking out. This position is sometimes referred to as the Superman pose because it makes your cat look kind of like Superman in mid-flight. Just like the previous position, however, this is less about your cat preparing for the emergence of their latent superpowers and more about controlling their body temperature. Cats who sleep like this will often lie down on cool surfaces like tiles or hardwood floors. Having the cold floor pressed up against their tummy helps cool down their core. Stretching all their limbs out, meanwhile, exposes their paw pads to the elements. This is important because the paw pads are one of the only places on a cat's body where they have sweat glands. Loaf. This is one of the cutest kitty sleeping positions, lying on their tummy with their head up and all 4 legs hidden underneath them, making them look like a big furry loaf of bread. Like when your cat curls in a ball, this pose reduces surface area, and hiding the legs ensures that they can stay nice and toasty warm. But it also means that your kitty can easily jump to their feet in the event that something big and scary should come and disturb their sleep by trying to eat them. If your cat sleeps like this a lot, then it can be a sign that they don't feel fully safe at home. On their side. A cat who sleeps flopped on their side isn't too concerned about their tummy being exposed to danger, meaning that they probably feel confident and safe. The sideways pose does mean that it's fairly easy for them to get up and run should the need arise, but it's not a major concern. If your cat sleeps like this, assume that they're feeling safe and relaxed. On their back. Rolling over onto their back is the most vulnerable position a cat can put themselves in. Sleeping on their back, therefore, is an intense sign of vulnerability. Not only are their vital organs fully exposed to attack, but it would be much more difficult for them to get into a standing position if they needed to run or defend themselves. If your cat sleeps on their back around you, take it as a deep and personal sign of trust. Like a liquid. A cat is a liquid, as the saying goes, and sometimes you might catch your kitty sleeping in a position that looks rather uncomfortable, crammed into a small space that doesn't look big enough to fit them, twisted like a pretzel, half hanging off a ledge. You might wonder how they're able to sleep so soundly in such awkward positions. or feel rightfully jealous of their ability to get up afterwards and go about their business with no obvious discomfort when you can't even nap in a chair for half an hour without messing up your whole neck? Well, it's to do with how your cat's body is structured. Cats are designed to climb trees, jump through the air, and get through small places. When it was time to make the cat, evolution reached for the silly putty. The discs that make up your cat's spine are much more elastic than yours, and their collarbone is connected to the rest of their skeleton by muscle instead of bone. This is what allows them to do their famous fall on their feet trick. They can twist themselves upright in mid-air from any position. On the ground, it's what allows them to take a nap while their back is more tangled up than last year's Christmas lights. High up. Some cats find it easier to sleep in the sky. If you're the kind of person who gets vertigo looking out of a top-floor window, you might wonder how they can manage it. The answer is that cats evolved to hide in trees so as to escape from predators. To a cat, being high up actually feels safer than being on the ground. Not only does it mean that they can't easily be eaten by any dangerous animals on the ground, like the vacuum cleaner for example, but it allows them to easily survey their territory for any encroaching enemy cats or potentially delicious prey animal. When they're feeling so relaxed, it's natural that they might decide to take a nap while they're up there, in a box. If I fits, I sits. That's the motto of the cat world. Not only does this apply to any container bigger than a shoebox, but many cats will even apply it to any vaguely box-shaped surface, whether or not it has sides. You can test this yourself at home by making a square of black tape on the ground and seeing if your kitty sits in it. Cats find boxes comforting for the same reason that they find high places comforting, because it makes them feel safe. Having barriers around them makes them feel protected, and being able to stick their head out the top allows them to keep an easy eye out for anything trying to sneak up on their little fortress. What place could be cozier for a nap? In the litter box. No matter how clean you keep your cat's litter box, you probably don't think of it as being a pleasant place for anyone to take a nap. Most cats will agree with you on this point, but occasionally you'll get a kitty who decides that it looks like a comfy place to catch some Z's. Much like when a human ends up falling asleep while sitting on the toilet, this is not a good sign. If you notice your kitty doing this, you should keep an eye on them to check for any other signs of illness. Not using the box for its intended purpose as much as they used to, loss of appetite, hiding, seeming like they're in pain, and consider taking them to the vet. It's not always a sign of digestive distress, however. Sometimes it's just that your kitty has noticed that their box is, well, a box, and the fits I sits rule has been invoked. In this case, you should try finding them a replacement, possibly a new cat bed, or even an empty box. Even if your kitty sleeping in their litter box doesn't necessarily mean that they're sick, it's still not the most hygienic place for a doze. Under your covers. Sometimes a lump in your bed isn't just a lump in your bed. Sometimes it's a little sleeping kitty. If they hear you come in, you might even be lucky enough to see them poking their heads out from underneath like cute little gophers. Cats often like sleeping under the covers of their cat parent's bed while it's not in use. Being hidden underneath something satisfies their need for safety, and it's obviously very warm down there. Adorably though, the other main reason why your kitty might prefer the underside of your duvet to any other hiding place is because the place where you sleep carries your scent. If your cat does this, then it's a sign that they view you as a source of safety and comfort. On top of you. Over the course of this video, the main recurring theme has been safety. Cats are small, vulnerable animals in a big, scary world, and they wisely try to make themselves feel as safe as possible before they go to sleep. But sometimes a cat will cast those ancestral worries aside and let someone else take care of them. If a cat decides to fall asleep on top of or lying next to you, then that's a sign that your kitty has chosen to place their life in your hands. They fully trust you to take care of them because they love you. Where exactly your cat chooses to sleep says a lot about your relationship. Does your cat sleep with you? If so, where exactly? Next to you, Between your legs, at the foot of the bed, on your pillow, or maybe with their butt near your face? Or does your cat prefer to sleep somewhere else, like by the door, in their own bed, close to your bed, or under the table? Do they often move around during the night? Each spot has its own special meaning and shows exactly how your cat feels about you. Between your legs. The space between your legs offers a warm, protected environment, akin to a cozy den. For cats, this position provides a sense of security and comfort, especially for those who are naturally anxious or have had unsettling experiences in the past. They're essentially seeking a sanctuary that shields them from the outside world. This position requires a high level of trust and intimacy. Cats are at their most vulnerable when asleep, so choosing to rest so close to you shows a strong bond and deep trust. At the foot of your bed. By choosing the foot of the bed, your cat is showing that they enjoy being close to you while valuing their own space. This position lets them stay connected without feeling overly constrained, which may be a sign of a confident and well-adjusted cat. It provides a perfect balance, close enough to feel secure and connected, but far enough to stretch out and have some independence. The foot of the bed also gives your cat a strategic spot to monitor the room and entry points. Cats are natural hunters and like to keep an eye on their surroundings, and this location lets them quickly detect unusual activities or sounds. The foot of the bed may also appeal to your cat because it offers the right balance of warmth and coolness. Snuggling right beside you can become too warm, but the foot of the bed often provides a more comfortable temperature. This choice could be particularly relevant if your cat prefers to avoid being smothered by blankets. Next to you. Cats that sleep next to their owners typically show a high level of attachment. This position lets them be as close as possible, providing comfort for both you and your cat. It's their way of saying they love your company, even while they rest. Cats are inherently social creatures, and sleeping next to their owners strengthens this bond. Physical contact is a powerful way for them to reinforce their social connections within the family. Butt to your face. When your cat sleeps with their butt facing your face, it might seem like a humorous or less than ideal arrangement, but this position actually has important implications regarding their trust and comfort level with you. In the animal world, turning one's back to another is a significant sign of trust. By sleeping with their butt toward you, your cat is demonstrating that they feel completely safe in your presence. They trust you won't harm them while they are asleep and at their most vulnerable. This position also taps into their natural instincts. Cats often sleep with their noses oriented toward an exit, remaining aware of potential threats. Your cat may position their butt toward you, considering you a safe zone, while their nose is pointed towards the door or another part of the room. Cats also have scent glands in their anal area. Though it might not be the most pleasant thought, when they sleep with their butt facing you, they're subtly marking their territory. This position could also signal a degree of independence. While they want to be close to you, they might not always want to face you or be in a more dependent position. Behind you. By sleeping behind you, your cat positions themselves in a way that allows them to monitor the environment while using you as a shield against potential threats. On your pillow. Choosing to sleep on your pillow is one of the most affectionate and intimate gestures your cat can make. This spot holds your strongest scent, and by sleeping there, your cat seeks to be as close to you as possible. It's a sign that they love your presence and find comfort in being near you, even while you're asleep. Pillows are soft and comfortable, providing an ideal sleeping spot that often elevates their head. Plus, being so close to your head allows them to feel secure, knowing they're right by your side should anything happen during the night. Sleeping on your pillow is also a way for your cat to ensure they're one of the first things you see in the morning, strengthening your bond and reaffirming their importance in your life. It's a clever strategy to ensure affection and attention as soon as you wake up. Close to you at first, but usually moves away in the middle of the night. Cats often move around at night. Sleeping uninterrupted for 8 hours is more of a human habit. So, when you shift in your sleep, your cat might wake up, think, "I'm warm. I need to stretch and stay alert," wander off to nap somewhere else, then return to snuggle with you for the last hour or so. On the floor by your bed. Choosing the floor rather than your bed may signal that your cat respects your space and has a healthy level of independence. They understand where they can be in relation to you, demonstrating an awareness of their place in the home. Sometimes this choice might also be driven by comfort. The floor may provide a cooler surface for cats that overheat easily. By the doorway. By positioning themselves near the entry points of the house, they're taking on a watchful role. This allows them to monitor any potential disturbances or unusual activities inside or outside the house. This behavior also reflects a strong sense of loyalty and commitment. In their bed. Opting for their own bed indicates a healthy level of independence. Your cat feels secure enough to enjoy their personal space. This also suggests they have a strong sense of self and are comfortable being alone, which reflects good mental health and well-adjusted behavior. If your cat consistently sleeps in their own bed, it signifies that they respect the boundaries you've set in your home. Under the furniture, like a desk or table. Cats that sleep under furniture often seek a sense of security and comfort. This behavior mirrors their ancestral instincts to find a safe, sheltered place reminiscent of a den. Beneath a table or desk, your cat might feel more secure due to the enclosed space providing a protective barrier that helps them manage anxiety or nervousness. Sometimes the choice to sleep under furniture can be influenced by temperature and sensory preferences. For instance, the floor beneath a piece of furniture might be cooler, or the area may be quieter and less bustling than other parts of the house. This is particularly appealing in warmer months or busy households. If your cat suddenly starts seeking out hidden spots like under furniture, it could also be a sign of health issues. Cats often hide when they're not feeling well, as a natural instinct to protect themselves when vulnerable. If this behavior is new and is accompanied by other changes in appetite or behavior, consider scheduling a vet visit. Living room couch or chair. Cats that choose to sleep on the living room couch or chair often have a strong desire to be integrated into family activities, even during rest periods. This behavior suggests they see themselves as part of the household and want to remain involved in its social dynamics. Choosing a central spot like the couch helps them feel connected to where the family spends much of their time, reinforcing their bond and presence. Various spots throughout the house. Cats that move around to sleep in different spots could be displaying their natural curiosity and vigilance. By changing their sleeping locations, they can explore and monitor different parts of the house. This behavior may indicate a desire to stay alert while securing various vantage points. Just like humans, cats might change their sleeping spot based on where they feel most comfortable at a particular time. Factors like temperature, noise, and light can influence their choice. For example, a cat might prefer a cooler tile floor in the summer, but switch to a warmer carpeted area in colder months. Did you know that your fur baby might be trying to tell you something when they snuggle up in bed with you? Does your cat sleep at your feet? Or maybe your kitty sleeps near your head? From by your head to on your toes, where in the bed your cat sleeps can tell you how they feel about you and what your relationship is like. So let's find out how much your kitty truly loves you. Number 1. By your feet. There's nothing better on a cold winter night than to snuggle under your covers with a warm cat on your feet. They're like a big, hairy, hot water bottle. One of the reasons that your kitty might choose this position is actually because that's likely to be where you keep your hot water bottle. Cats are desert creatures and will gravitate to sources of heat with all the determination and accuracy of a heat-seeking missile. If the heat is by your feet, then that's where your cat will be. Another reason, however, that your kitty might prefer to sleep by your feet rather than your head is because it makes it easier for them to jump off your bed and head out without waking you. especially since most people like to sleep with the foot of their bed nearer the door. This, to be clear, doesn't mean that your fur baby doesn't actually want to sleep near you. It's just that cats tend to have different sleeping habits to humans. Your cat sleeps a lot more than you do, but in much shorter bursts. Most cats won't nap for more than about 30 minutes at a time, after which they'll want to get up again. This means that sharing a bed with a human, who might sleep for 8 hours in one go, can be a bit boring for them. Much more convenient if they can come and go when they like, all without disturbing your sleep. Number 2. By your head. If sleeping by your feet allows your cat to come and go without waking you up, what does sleeping by your head achieve? Well, you might not be surprised to hear that one of the main benefits of sleeping by your head is that it allows your cat to wake you up. Not every kitty wants to slink off quietly into the darkness when they wake up in the night. Some want to play, or have a snack, or just get some pets. Sleeping by your head allows your cat to more easily scream in your ear when they want your attention. How lovely, but that's thankfully not the only reason. The area of the bed by your head is also likely to be the most comfortable, as it's where your pillow is. Number 3. On your chest. Having a cat on your chest might make sleeping a bit difficult, depending on the size of the cat and how much they move around. You might find yourself wondering why your kitty thinks that crushing your chest is the best way to send you to sleep, unless they're planning to suffocate you. But really, they're just trying to be close to you. Lying on your chest allows your cat to listen to the rhythm your heartbeat and breathing while they snooze, calming them down and helping them sleep. Number 4. Between your legs. It can be annoying when your cat chooses to sleep like a rock in the middle of the bed. You have to sort of twist yourself around them, often with one leg either side, which means that you then can't shift yourself for the rest of the night without the risk of dislodging them. Which of course you'd never do. You're not a monster. So why does your cat do it? Firstly, because sleeping between your legs means that your cat is completely surrounded by your body heat, keeping them toasty warm. Secondly, because as prey animals, cats often like to feel that they're protected on all sides when they sleep. That's why you'll so often find them catching some Z's in a cardboard box. And your legs make a comfortable nest for them to snuggle down in. You might not get a good night's sleep in this position, but you can at least take comfort in knowing that your kitty is sleeping like the furry little baby they are. Number 5. Facing away from you. When your cat chooses to sleep facing away from you, it can feel like a snub. You might think that your kitty is annoyed or upset with you. But don't worry, you haven't done anything wrong.